everyone, it's Michelle up here in Northern Illinois Zone 5. Today we are going to deconstruct our succulent picnic table. We put it in back in May and we have enjoyed this thing like mad all summer long. It has been beautiful. It has been a conversation piece and an inspiration for a lot of different people that have come to the garden center, including myself and the girls. I had a really good time putting it in, but the temperatures are dropping into the low 50s and the upper 40s, and for some of the succulents that are in this garden, which isn't very deep, the dirt might be that deep in there, it's just too cold and I'll end up losing some of them. So we're going to deconstruct it and we're going to take some of them and actually make these really pretty pumpkin succulent planters. So I have 2 pumpkins and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Some of the other ones we're going to actually multiply and make more, and some of them we might clean up and lose a few things, but I think for the most part, we're going to be able to salvage almost everything in this garden, and we're going to be able to propagate a lot of it to get pretty much double everything that's in this garden. So that is a great thing about succulents, is they're so easy to propagate. So let's get started. Okay, I gathered up some things that I'm going to need to be able to deconstruct, which isn't very many things. I need some empty containers. So I have a lot of different ones. I have some of the little 4-inch containers. I have some 4-packs that I kept, some 6-packs from annuals. I've got some little 2-inch containers, and then I have a few round ones too, a few round 3-inch containers. Some of what I'm going to propagate will be small, some will be larger, and some of them I'll put multiple in each of the containers. And then some of them I won't be able to put into dirt at all yet because they'll need to harden off or heal over, and I'll show you that in a second. You do need some soil to put your succulents in, and so cactus soil will work, succulent soil will work, even potting soil will work, and I just cut mine with sand. See? Just contractor sand. Now don't use playground sand because it's too fine and it's not been washed. It's got salt in it and you don't want to burn your roots. So contractor sand or torpedo sand or leveling sand, it'll be called something like that at the store. And so I just cut a 50-50 mix into my potting soil if I don't have any of these. If I don't have these 2 on hand, then I'll just do that in a pinch. I had some Espoma organic potting soil left from when I went and did fall pots at customers' houses. So I just dumped it in here, and then I just added some sand, and I'm just going to mix that in. And I'm also going to get some of my little pots ready. So I'm just going to take some of my little pots here, and I'm just going to fill them up. And I did not pre-moisten this because I do not want to get these wet yet. I actually want to get them in the dirt and let them sit for 2 or 3 days, and then I'll water everything. But for now, I'm just going to get some containers ready. All right, I got a whole bunch of containers ready. That will not be enough. See, I have a whole tub of them right here. I'll have to make some more, but this will get me going. All right, I wiggled that hen and chick right off of there. And as you can see, there's little babies all over it. Here. So what I'm going to do is, see, I'm just going to pull those little babies right off of there. And I want that little stem right there. So I'm just going to pull that right off. I'm going to get all of them. And see, I just turned 1 plant into, because here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, look, I got 6 babies. All right, so now I've got one of my little 6-packs right here, and I've got these little stems on here, and I'm just going to stick these down inside the dirt in these little 6-packs, and these will grow. It's going to take them probably 6 to 8 weeks to root. Look at that. Get that big piece out of there. There you go. Look at that. 6 new babies. And it'll take them 6 to 8 weeks to root. You can give them a little tug and they'll root. Now this is a chick off of a hen. And they will usually grow in zone 4 through 8. And down here, see all these dead leaves? That's natural. They'll do that over time. All I do is they just come in and I'm going to clean that up. And I'm just going to pull all of those off of there. And then I'm going to put them underneath a bright light. See? And now I'm back to the mother plant. And this one will actually grow new babies too. Now this one already has a nice root system on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down inside one of these little cups here. And then I'm just going to add a little dirt around the edges. Just like that. Okay? And now this guy will settle in here all winter long and he'll be good for later. or I can reuse him right now if I want to. All right, so there you go. I just took one mommy and got, look, I have 7 plants now instead of just 1. All right, let's do another one. Okay, let's do this one. See how tight these are? So here's my mommy and here's my babies. They're kind of like growing out the side there. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to behead him. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to get in here and I'm going to take all the dirt off. And then I'm going to take off all of these icky leaves down here. I'm going to pull those right off because I want to be able to pull these babies off. And so I'm going to find where they, see, there he is. I just snipped it right off, and then I'll just get rid of all these bottom leaves right here. And again, I'm just going to go in here with my thumb and pull it out. Pull that baby out, and then I'm going to get rid of all of these bottom leaves right here. Here's another baby right there. I'm going to get that one, and I'm going to get, come here, get that one, and that one, and that one. All right, there we go. Now, I've got this stub right there. I'm just going to cut that right off. All right, now what I need to do is I'm just going to throw this guy into a little dish because I need this to like scar over. It takes a couple days. If I just put this down in the dirt, it might or might not root, but I don't know. A lot of times these are so wet that they'll just get soggy and mushy and then they just rot out. So you're better off just throwing it in a tray, which is what I do. I just throw them in a tray and I let them dry out for 2 or 3 days. And then I just take it and I wiggle it down onto the top of the dirt. And then in a couple months, it'll have roots and it'll just keep growing and repropagate. So that's a hen and chick. And then again, here's my little babies. See, now this time I don't have the little stalk on there, but I do have, and it's not wet, it's dry. So I'm just going to lay it right on top there. And I do the same thing with these. I just pull off the extra leaves and I'm just going to set them right there in my container. So again, and even this little baby one, see, he'll make a baby. And I ended up getting, if there's any icky leaves, I just pull those off. Let me go back and get some more. Oh my goodness, look at how many I got this time. I think that's all of them. So I ended up getting 8 of those along with a mama that I'll be able to regrow even after I beheaded it. So I'll just put this in a little dish. All right, that's how you do those 2. All right, this next one I pulled out is a lime zinger sedum, and see how leggy it is? It's just all really super leggy. So what I want to do is you can put it in like this if you want, but what I do is I just go in and I clip and just get the tips. Okay, I just get the tips just like this, and then again I'm going to take one of my little 6-packs, which is this. Now because this is sedum, I'm actually going to put 2 of these in each one, and I'm just going to clip it all off at the ends. And actually I'm turning one plant now. I can get 20 plants out of this thing. Now, the thing that happens is when you're propagating like this with your sedum and your hens and chicks, the chicks I usually have probably a 90% success rate. With the sedum, it's probably an 80% success rate. So that's why I like to put 2 in each one of the little holders. And even this little bitty baby one, even one that small, well, he's kind of falling apart on me, but you could put that one in there too. And I try to put just the same kind in one container, and I'll hedge my bets, see, and I'll get all of those in there, and those will root and make new sedum for me. And then that legginess goes away because I'm creating new plants. And then this whole thing right here, I just throw this away. So look at all of this. Was one plant, and I'm going to end up getting probably 15 or 20 out of that one easy. Now, some of these I went in and I cut like longer stems on, and the reason I did that is because I want the longer stems for the pumpkins. So if you want to have a stem on it, you can. See, you can have a nice little stem like that. That will actually produce roots faster than just the tip, because I've got all of these nodes in here where roots can come off of. So you can wiggle this big long stem down into the dirt and it'll probably give you roots faster. So either way works. Let's see how many we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Ha! Look at that. There's another one. 33. 33 off of that. Oh, there's another one. 34 off of one hen. And then I'll come in and I'm going to behead this guy. And then I'm just going to throw them in this container to dry. And then I'll just pull all those off. See, now I have a class coming up where they can come in and make these pumpkin succulent planters. So I'm going to throw a lot of this in here. This next one that I have here, this is a portulaca. So this is an annual, so I'm just actually going to pull this out. I'm just going to pull the whole thing out like this, and I'm just going to throw it in the garbage. And then I get to my next one right here, which is, I don't remember what this one is. I think it's called California Sunset. But when I started it, it was just this one little plant, and now it's got babies all over it. And so what I'll do is I'll behead all the babies, and then I'll let them dry out, and then I will root them down inside of the dirt. So let's get those. Baby number 1. Baby number 2. And I'm going to take some of these leaves off here. All right. See, and I'll let a scar form there, and then I'll work that into the soil. The same thing here. I'll take these leaves off at the bottom, and I'll work that into the soil. See, and then that's what I'll have. And all of these little ones here, I'm going to lay them out in a tray. All of these. I'll lay them out in a tray, and then they'll make babies too. Let's see how many we got. So I've got one nice one here. Another big nice one here. That's 2. Ooh, I lost a little petal. There he is. All right. Then here's 3, 4, 5. I'm going to sacrifice these 2 to the pumpkin. So in my pumpkin pile. So we won't count those. So that's 5. And then here's all the petals that are going to make babies. And even if only half of these make babies, that's still way more than I started with. And I started with one plant. So 1, 2, 3, 44, 45, 46, 62, 63, 64, 65. Yeah, check that out. All right, here's all my booty that I got. So I am going to be growing all of these little sedums and these little chicks. So these are all things that will grow here in Zone 5. Right now I have them out in the greenhouse. And then here's some of the bigger chicks that went with them. I actually got more aloe too. So I was able to split that into 1, 2, 3 more little ones. All of these had roots on them that I put in here. So they were packed in their containers with some dirt. And then here are all the cuttings. Now I'm going to be using the cuttings in my pumpkin succulent class that we're doing. So these won't go to waste. I mean, we'll use pretty much everything that's in there, and then I'll probably need more. And then, let's come around this way. Here's all my petals. Here's all the petals off the echeverias, and I'll show you what to do with those. And here are all the ones that we beheaded that we're waiting for a scar to form right here. And once that scar forms, then I'll just put these down in the dirt and then they'll re-root. And then I took all the bark off and that's just sitting here drying. So let me show you what to do with the petals. Okay, so I've got my bag of succulent dirt, and again, you can use potting soil, but mix it with sand. I use a 50-50 blend. And then, see, I'm just going to fill up this tray. Now, you can use a flat tray, too. I just didn't have any. Make sure you poke holes in the bottom of it so you've got drainage. These are the trays that the succulents come in, so they're going to work really good for me. And I'm just going to fill up all the cells. You do not need a lot of dirt to do this, because I'm going to place one leaf in each cell, and then once it starts to root in there, see, it'll root in there, and then I can just break off the leaf once it roots. So all I'm going to do is take my leaves, and I'm going to lay one in each cell, and I'm going to try to center it so that this piece right here goes right into the center. And then I'm just going to fill up my tray. Okay, started a second tray. Just going to finish these up, and then I will let them sit for a couple days because I still want this little part right here to harden off. And then I will water them lightly. And I might water them maybe once a month, but they need to be in a bright lighted area. So once it gets cold out here in the greenhouse, I'll have to move them inside under grow lights. It can take a couple months, maybe even 12 weeks for these to set roots and to make the little babies in here. And then once they make the little babies, I can pull the baby out, and the baby will grow like right here. And then once the baby grows, I'll just snap this piece off, and then the baby will root into the cell that I have the leaves in. Now I'm doing 2 trays to hedge my bets again, to make sure I get as many as I want. My goal is to try to get like 30, so I have 64 right here, because this is a 32 count tray. So that's it. That's how you propagate the echeverias, the hens and chicks, and the succulents. All right, we are on to a new day. It is still drizzling outside, so I decided to come into the greenhouse, and we are going to make our little succulent planter. I love making these. Now, I've seen it made both ways, where people like core out the pumpkin and put the dirt in there and make it inside. I don't do it that way because I don't think they last as long, and I don't want the pumpkin to rot out and stink, and it will eventually over time. Now, this one will as well, but I find that they last longer if I do it this way. So you can make it with the stem if you want. I always cut my stem out, so you can either, usually they snap right off. So I want this, just this bottom right here, and I don't know, you can do something else with the stem or throw it away. I'm going to make 2, and then I have this bigger pumpkin here, and I'm going to break the stem off of this one. And that one, I just kind of tapped it on the edge of the table, and I got the stem off of that one. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add some moss to the top of the pumpkin, and then we're going to be gluing in with a glue gun some of those pieces off of the succulents from yesterday from the picnic table that we deconstructed. And we're just going to create a cute little, I don't know, art in the top of our pumpkin. And again, it's all subjective. It's based on what you think looks good, but it's super easy to do. And I think they're so sweet and so cute. You can keep them outside, you can keep them inside. And when you're done, guess what? You can pop the glue off of the stems or pinch the stems where the glue was, and you can plant them up, and they'll probably grow that way as well. Typically, by the time I'm done with them, we are close to Thanksgiving, and then they're not starting to look that great, but they last a really long time, and they're super sweet and super cute. So let's make some. Step 1, moss. Break off a piece of moss that's about as big as the top of your pumpkin, and then take some glue, and you're going to glue it on the top. That glue is hot. There we go, all glued to the top. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our big pieces, and then we'll follow up with little pieces. I went and got some pieces out of my little tub over there. I have one hen and one, this is a chick from a hen and chick. This is a kiwi, it's an echeveria, and it's just one of the little babies. I actually grabbed one of those. I grabbed a whole bunch of sedums, different ones that I thought were pretty colors. Some that I thought looked like little flowers, like this one here. I thought that looked like a little rosette. I also picked up like just individual leaves, because I can take the leaves and glue them on there and then maybe put the rosette in the middle and make it look like a flower. So all different ones that I just grabbed, some little chicks, and we're just going to glue them in. And then I did pick one big centerpiece. This is the Echeveria. I think it's the, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to use this one as my centerpiece. I think these turned out so sweet. Look at this. I love that. I like the butterfly on there too. I think that's so sweet. I'm going to put this one on my table that's on my porch, and this one I'm going to put on the step leading up to the door. I think they turned out really great, considering that they were just bits and pieces of succulents that I pulled out of the picnic table that sat there all summer and was beautiful. And I got a whole load of booty here for next year. So that's pretty exciting too. So I hope you had fun making these with me, or maybe you're inspired to go make one yourself. They're super easy to do, and I hope you learned about propagating succulents. I know enough to do this. I'm not an expert by any means, but I love to mess around with it because I really like succulents. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.